Yo, this is my Oona, Queen of the Fae, commander deck. It's black-blue, it's Dimir. I really like Mill, personally. Back in the day, I started around Kamigawa, but then I didn't have much money because I was a kid. It's like 8 or 9, maybe 10, I can't remember. But Ravnica came out, and I bought the Dimir deck. I can't remember the vampire. There was a really strong-ass vampire. He was really expensive. It was kind of like a Timmy for Dimir. He got bigger. Every time you deal damage, he was a 5/5 flyer, and every time he dealt damage, I think he was like a 7-drop. Every time he dealt damage, it wouldn't deal any damage, but that person would lose that many cards at the top of their library, and he would double his power and toughness. So eventually, he'd become like a 10/10, then a 20/20, et cetera, et cetera. Eventually can be able to mill somebody's deck out. Just over time, adapting and playing the game, not playing the game, selling my collection, but keeping the decks. Last year, a buddy or old coworker, got me back into Magic, and then I end up spending thousands of dollars. And I already had a bunch of these cards lying around. Some of these cards are pretty old. I've had them for a very long time. But then some of them obviously are new. I don't know. I know I've definitely bought like Altar of Dementia, for example, that Orcish Bowmaster, for example, that I pulled that. I think I ended up buying the Dimir Fairy deck from Wilds of Eldraine eventually within last year. And then there were like I said, Altar of Dementia, stuff like that, just trying to play into the mill. It's very hard, obviously, to win Commander with milling, typically. I'm all about, by the end of the day, ramping like a motherfucker no matter what color it is, unless it's Monolith Dredge, then, that's wheel or deal based on whatever your opening hand is. Where am I going with this? Fuck. But no, with milling, what? And nobody, how I play is, if someone were to mill my deck, it's just like, well, yeah, it's going to suck. Of course I want, there's a specific card sometimes, but you got to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, etc. This just really, milling, makes people have to drastically probably change their deck or their plan for the game, their game plan, their strategy based on what is in their graveyard. Obviously there's some decks that like having a big graveyard or having graveyard recursion or just recursion in general. But so, with that all being said, I fucking love Consuming Aberration. That motherfucker's strong as fuck, in my opinion. There's little stacks in this. I'm trying to think of what else to say. I already gave you my little nostalgia fucking thing, but this deck has definitely, changed over time for sure. So I have a nice little combination with this. It's not self-mill. I guess I could talk about my favorite color is green out of the 5 colors that are available in Magic the Gathering. My favorite 2-color combination is Dimir, black and blue. And I guess then my favorite 3-color would be whatever the fuck green, black, blue is. I can't remember what the fuck it's called right now. With all of my decks, they're not CEDH level. I wish they were. I would have to add a lot more counter spells probably, or just being able to resiliently protect myself at very optimal moments. Maybe I could handle a game of CEDH, but typically, from my experience playing against people who have those kind of decks, a lot of people usually use tutoring of some sort, or once again, like they just wait for you to pop off and then they just counter your pop off and then they can they live from there. It's intuition for sure. You got to play the game long enough to like kind of see combinations and engine pieces, and there are definitely many different types of decks, but like it is kind of, it's limited to a certain extent by the end of the day. Like you can mill's an option. There's infect, you could win by bringing them down to 0 life through many different means. It could be life gain, which then, or life drain specifically, or you life gain to get stronger creatures to make it so that it's pretty impossible to lose yourself. You could use equipment or artifacts in general. There's enchantments, auroras, the whole Voltron idea of one strong ass creature taking out somebody. There's burn spells. The list goes on, man. It does go on. I mean, there's spell slingers and stuff, but it is still limited. I mean, there are, it's like, what is it? Archetypes is that what it is? That's what it comes down to. And what I guess I will say lastly, before we get into the breakdown, I guess, is, there's always probably going to have to be a plan B. Your main plan, you want it to go off a certain way, but, it doesn't always happen how you want it to. All right. So on Archdeck, you'll find Oona, Queen of the Fae. Just this is where it is. You could type it in. I mean, I'm going to probably have it in the description below. But like I said, this is a deck I've had for a very long time, so I've committed a lot of probably resources, I guess, to it over time. With that being said, a lot of cards have also jumped up in price like a motherfucker. So apparently it's about almost $1,000, almost. It's half $1,000. What would that be? I mean, just, it's $500,000. $500. Sorry. And once again, I'm telling you this right now, just because it's worth this much does not mean this deck is that good. I swear to God. The salt level, yes, is fucking crazy, but this deck is a lot more flavor, in my opinion, a lot more story driven. It's not optimized. Some descriptors would be obviously mill primarily. I always go for ramp. There's tokens in this. It's going to be fairies and rogues. Primary fairies, secondary rogues, and I think even like I don't know, fucking the third one will probably be wizards. But you got drawing, a little bit of drawing, and then sacrifice. It's gonna try to mill people out as fast as possible. That's the fucking game plan. I use the ramping, obviously. We'll get to it. So Oona, Queen of the Fae. When I saw her, I fucking way back in the day, I was like, this is fucking such a cool ass card. But for six mana a mana cost of 6, which is 3 colorless and 3 hybrid, either black or blue. You get Oona, Queen of the Fae, legendary creature, fairy wizard. It's got flying. It's a 5/5. It's got an ability. It's a activated, right? Activated ability, would it be an activated? Or is it triggered? No, triggered is, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's activated. You got to activate it, but it's X and a blue/black, blue or black hybrid. So for X and a blue or black, you choose a color. Target opponent removes the top X cards of his or her library from the game. For each card of the chosen color removed this way, put a 1/1 blue and black fairy rogue creature token with flying into play. So once again, primarily with the ramping, that's how you're going to be able to do a lot of damage with her. Hopefully, I mean, Commander, usually a lot of people picking out a lot of colors, but I think it's kind of like, hopefully I get more tokens, the 1/1 black and blue and black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying, but it's primarily I'm exiling people's decks, and once it gets removes the top X cards from his or her library from the game. That's like, going above and beyond for milling anyway. You ain't getting that shit back. And there's benefits to getting the fairies. I have like the sacrifice outlet and stuff. But so moving on, we got Leyline of Transformation. You play this if it's in your opening hand at the beginning of the game. You just play it right on the battlefield. But you choose a creature type, and all creatures in your deck, and even the ones that haven't even been played, you control, and creatures that you own are on the battlefield that are in the same. Yeah, so creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So that's just everything in your library, essentially. And I would probably choose most likely Fairy. There are some benefits to that. I also might choose Rogue, depending on the situation. Like I said, it's kind of like a toolbox. It depends on what I draw. So Archmage of Echoes. Whenever you cast a fairy or wizard permanent spell, you copy it. So if everything's a fucking fairy, you get to copy it. You can also potentially do wizard, but I'm probably going to choose fairy over wizard for the game because this is like a fairy rogue deck. I also got the Anowon, the Ruin Thief, a rogue commander deck, and I kind of put that together here. So with that one fairy deck from Wells Veldrain, plus also some other decks. I mean, I've had Oona for a very long time. So it's awesome to have her as a commander. She just looks awesome. The artwork's awesome, man. And the command or the game mechanic is awesome. I'm all for it. So we got Archmage that makes copies, and then Infinite Reflection. You put it onto it's an Aurora. You put it onto one of your creatures to a creature, so you can actually literally put it on any creature. That's crazy. And then each other non-token creature you control becomes a copy of that creature. Which I have a lot of my creatures, like, it'd be kind of cool. It's kind of beneficial for that to happen. I mean, isn't that? I mean, I guess you want to choose wisely, I guess. Getting into the drain, Bastion of Remembrance. When it comes onto the battlefield, you put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, and then its main enchantment ability is whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and I gain 1 life. So if I make a bunch of fairies and I'm sacrificing them, that's one way of draining people. Bloodchief Ascension. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Bloodchief Ascension. That can happen pretty quickly. And then whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Bloodchief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. If you do, you gain 2 life. And what's all about drain? When it enters the battlefield, the Dreadhound, when it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Its main ability: whenever a creature dies or a creature card is put into the graveyard from a library, each opponent loses 1 life. It is a 6-drop, so once again, it's about spending wisely. And maybe this, once again, I've had a lot of fun with this deck personally. So, anyway, to me, it feels like it's not super cohesive because, I mean, there's so many things going on. It's got mill, it's got the rogue, it's got the fairy, it's got the sacrifice outlet. You might not even get fairies. So, yeah, I don't know, man. But I've had a lot of fun with this deck personally. But also, when you're a mill person, you're probably going to be singled out because people don't like their cards going into the graveyard. Anyway, Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life, which is great for Oona because especially if it's when you're using black as well. Typically, there's a lot of sacrificing outlets. Nadir's Nightblade. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent. Yeah, it leaves. I thought it was comes and goes. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Then we got Abria, Dreaming Duelist. Flash flying, whenever another fairy enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life, which in tandem with the Leyline of Transformation, that's not bad. Sir Conrad the Grim, whenever another creature dies or a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. I mean, I guess I can also do as a second ability. Each player mills a card for 1 in a black mana. It's all drain. I don't know if I have to necessarily show off my tokens. Well, I guess we'll get there. I guess. Anowon the Ruin Thief. I do make rogues, so that's why it's kind of like this fairy rogue idea, because she makes black and blue fairy rogue creature tokens with flying. His ability is whenever 1 or more rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, that player mills a card for each 1 damage dealt to them. If the player mills at least 1 creature card this way, you draw a card. I mean, it's predominantly just being able to mill somebody a lot. Moving on. It's funny he's in the draw. Should be in some of these. I mean, I didn't make this. I should have maybe even rearranged some of it, but I would put that more in the mill section, but it's okay. I guess I get the draw card. I think you can draw up to 3 cards. Yeah, 2 player. Yes, 2 player. Yep, I think I can draw up to 3 cards in a turn. This guy's dope. Faerie Mastermind. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. And then you can pay 3 to make everybody draw a card. This is once again one of those flavor cards I really like, which I guess would trigger the Faerie Mastermind, but I also got Orcish Bowmaster in this deck, so once again, the chances of these cards coming out at this right time, like Forced Fruition would probably be a dead card in my hand for a while, but at the same time, I like speeding up a game, so it's kind of fun making people go, ooh, look at that. That's like definitely some candy. And then also there's, I can get into it, but like with like Stasis, for example, anyway, we'll get to it. So whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player draws 7 cards. That's fucking crazy. So people would want to do that, but it's also kind of a way to get people to mill their. You kind of, it's sort of mill, sort of. I'm helping out the opponent immensely, but maybe I want to do that for a second. Depends on the situation. Kindred Discovery, and also it's just fun. I don't care if I don't care if I win. That's just purely like chaotic evil right there. Even at least chaotic neutral. I would say I don't know, man. It's because it's not. I don't know. Anyway, I'd say more. Well, anyway, neutral and evil, chaotic, evil and neutral. I don't know. A little bit of both. Or it depends. Enters the battlefield, or it could be fun. It could be fucking chaotic good. Maybe I'm saving the day. I could save the day. Maybe I do save the day. It's like I need to draw 7 cards. How can you help? I'm like, bam, there you go, baby. Anyway, Kindred Discovery enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, and then whenever creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. I pick Rogue, or not Rogue, Fairy. I could pick Rogue, but probably Fairy because depends on the situation. Once again, I have options. Notion Thief, typical. I guess he's a game changer card, which it would make sense. If an opponent would draw a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, instead that player skips that draw and you draw a card. Which once again you have Notion Thief with Forced Fruition. That's fucking hilarious. I'm fucking like eating like a king for like it might pop me like a fucking pimple. Fucking A. Skull Clamp. You have a 1/1 token generator. This is a way to sacrifice them and get to draw 2 cards. Get to draw a lot of fucking cards with Skull Clamp. Just equipped creature gets +1, -1. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards, and then you equip 1 for it. It's a 1-drop. Sorry, I'm not fucking saying everything. Sorry. Talion the Kindly Lord. As Talion, the Kindly Lord, enters the battlefield, choose a number between 1 and 10. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. God damn, that's annoying. That's more of a gamble, but that's just a fun card. fun, annoying, but it reminds me of that one Eldrazi that's like even or odd. I think I can't remember which one it is. Or I think it's like any odd number or even any even number you can't cast, something like that. Tagwell, Duke of Splendor. Predominantly, whenever another fairy you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. And it's also got like other fairies you control get +1/+1. It's got flying, death touch. I'm just naming off why I have it in the deck. Triska Decaphile. You have no maximum hand size, but this is like one of those planned, C or D or E. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. And you can draw a card and whatnot. Evasion, Sun Quan, Lord of Wu. Creatures you control have horsemanship. I just think it's just aesthetically pleasing to me, just the idea of all my creatures suddenly, even though Sir Conrad has a horse, but they all have horses in the riding. You can't fucking stop them because it's like, we don't know how to ride horses. So I guess it just makes all my creatures unblockable. This is kind of like a quasi, what's that fucking, I forgot the goddamn Crater Hoof Behemoth, isn't it? Crater Hoof. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it's Crater Hoof Behemoth. I'm pretty sure it's not just called Crater Hoof, but I mean, it's kind of the trample, but obviously you don't get the buff. But I would say it's more of a finisher card. Honestly, I wouldn't probably play that. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I would. Depends on the situation. I usually just play fucking cards just to play cards. I don't care. Might as well get to the land. I mean, typical. These are. I try not to do cards that tap unless they are gonna tap. Like, they're definitely gonna tap. I mean, I don't like playing tapped cards specifically, but maybe one day I'll be a changed person. But I typically don't like, unless I can try. I'm gonna try to make them not come in tapped. I got Polluted Delta. I got pulled that. Rogue's Passage, just nice to have a creature be unblockable just in case. I don't know if I have to really go through all the land. At one point I was just doing islands and swamps because one of the stacks pieces I do have is Harbinger of the Seas, which makes non-basic lands. They're all islands, but with stasis, that's actually doesn't really hurt me too much. Hopefully. Getting the next, just fucking following in line. We got, I guess the mill side, we got Bruvac the Grandiloquent. I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that correctly, but Grandiloquent, I'm going to say that. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many cards instead. It's great. I just don't know if I could ever just do a purely blue mill deck. I don't know. I'm sure it's possible, but black adds a lot more shenanigans. So black-blue combination. Consuming Aberration. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards, which makes it really strong. And then it's whenever I cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then put all those cards into their graveyard. So, if I can play like fucking 5 spells in a turn, that's nasty. That's really fucking nasty, man. I've pissed off a lot of people with this card specifically. Maybe not like, fucking super people who've played for years. I'm sure they know how to handle it or whatever, but anyway, like I pissed off some coworkers. Anyway, Jace Memory Adept, pretty much it's the 0 ability. Target player puts the top 10 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. I don't think I'm ever going to get to the last ability of any number of target players each draw 20 cards. Maybe. I imagine people are going to take Jace out. But I guess his +1 loyalty counter ability is draw a card. Target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And that's just like an OG card. I'm sure it could be replaced. Sure, there are better cards, but Memory Erosion. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Mesmeric Orb. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. That's fucking dangerous. Mind Grind. I love Mind Grind, man. This is where, and once again, if you're able to ramp it out, each opponent reveals cards from the top of his or her library until, well, I guess we'll say their library until they reveal X land cards, then puts all cards revealed this way into their graveyard. X can't be 0. So, if it's a lot of, if you could do fucking 20, typically a lot of people have about 40 land in their deck. Some people, I go on the low side, but, we got Mind Crank. Whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker. I love this guy. Whenever Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker, deals combat damage to a player, that player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until they reveal 4 land cards and puts those cards into their graveyard. Really great back in the fucking standard days. Obviously, when you're fucking dealing with commander decks, mill is definitely an uphill battle for sure. Because, not only do people hate you for doing mill, but, you have to technically mill out 300 cards. As long as your devotion, and that's if they don't fucking put the cards back into their library, which is possible. As long as your devotion to black and blue is less than 7, Phoenix isn't a creature. This is Phoenix, God of Deception. He's indestructible. He's a legendary enchantment creature. He's a god. Creatures you control have tap target creature to have. Well, you tap the target. Well, creatures you control have tap. The activated ability of tapping them. Target player puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard, where X is this creature's toughness. Which, hold on, let me say real quick. Oops, sorry, I just got to do 1 second. I thought I did that. I got the original, not that it matters, I guess, but I just fucking, OCD. Screeching the Scorch Beast. Whenever Screeching Scorch Beast attacks, each player gets 2 rad counters, and then whenever one or more non-land cards are milled, you may create that many 2/2 black zombie mutant creature tokens. Do this only once each turn. It's obviously it's a token generator, but also I'm milling a lot at once. I think it's like a one-time thing. It's so you might as well, if you're gonna mill someone, you gotta do it just right. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. It's pretty solid. It's nice if you're able to storm off or copy this ability, or this spell, this sorcery spell. Which I don't think I really have that ability. It's kind of just like a one-time thing, I imagine, but maybe. The Mind Skinner. Can't be blocked. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage, and each opponent mills that many cards, which could potentially even fuck me over. So I got to play that card right. Because there's some things where it's like you have to deal damage, and then this would actually counteract that. Anyway, as far as I remember, so far I don't think I've read anything that has to deal damage. As far as I know. Well, maybe I think the Anowon. Yeah, I think that maybe would fuck with it. I think you actually get to choose. I could be wrong. I don't think it's like an either or, not both. I could be wrong. If it's a both, that'd be cool, but I don't think it's both. So we're at Thieves Guild Enforcer. It's got Flash. Whenever Thieves Guild Enforcer or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. So, I could throw down that ability for Leyline of Transformation, or once again with Oona, dropping all those rogues, potentially, getting people to mill. It's a 1-drop too, so I don't know. This is once again where we're seeing things could, you expect, you want these cards to come together, but sometimes they don't. You'll get a couple fairy cards, but then rogue, or it benefits of having rogues or something like that, and then vice versa. That's that's the probability. That's why it's, you probably want to be a lot closer to just being one specific plan or idea or theme. Yeah, I'll just jump over to recursion real quick. Reanimate, you know, 1-drop, put target creature card from graveyard onto the battlefield under my control. I lose life equal to its mana value. You know, pretty cool, you know, old classic. Ramp, Arcane Signet, I add 1 mana of any color based on my commander's color identity. Ashnod's Altar, sacrifice a creature, add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool, which would help. This immensely could help with Oona or Oona. Dimir Signet, and some other things. Obviously got the drains and stuff. I have like about 3 or 4 ways of sacrificing. Dimir Signet, tap 1, and then tap it for to add a black and a blue mana. Everflowing Chalice, this is one of those times where you do the multi-kicker. Even if you just do it just the 2, you can also just have a regular old, I guess it's a colorless mono rock, but you can always, obviously this is one of those times where if you have a bunch of mana left over, like I just want to have a fuck ton of, just a great mono rock. It's got a multi-kicker of 2, so you can pay it multiple times, and for each time you pay for each time it was kicked, you put a charge counter on it, and then when you tap it, you get a colorless mana for each charge counter on Everflowing Chalice. It is a 0-drop, so you can hypothetically just drop it for a 0-drop if need be. Then we got Fellwar Stone, which I don't really use Fellwar Stone too much in 2 colors and 1 color commander decks, just because it tends to possibly turn out as a colorless 2-drop mono rock, which is fine. You know, it's going to happen. I already have a couple, so like the Mind Stone, for example. Moving on, Geode Golem. It's got trample, and then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast your commander from your commander zone without paying the mana cost. So that's pretty cool. There's you still pay any other additional costs. So, I mean, I think do you still have to pay? I mean, does that count the commander tax or whatever? I don't know. I'll have to look that up, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if she's a 6-drop, so it can get her out faster. Hidden Strings, I love this card. This is one of those where I have it with stasis and everything. It's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. You may fuck that dude. Anyway. You may tap or untap target permanent, then you may tap or untap another target permanent. So, with stasis, for example, we'll go down there. Each player skips his or her untap phase, and then during my upkeep, I have to pay blue mana, or I have to then destroy stasis or put it in the graveyard if I can't provide the upkeep cost of 1 blue mana, which is possible. But with Hidden Strings, I can tap and then untap target permanent, and then I can then tap and then untap another part. So, and it's not Cypher. I forgot to mention that. You then can exile this spell card encoded on a creature I control, and whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. So essentially, I can keep one of my gripes with sorceries and instances that you typically only can play it once unless you have recursion or other means. There are some other means. It's got flashback. But yeah, this is one of those times where you can repeatedly play this card. And especially with stasis, you can just completely control the game. I mean, it's a stacks. I didn't mention the salt is 60. Typically, with a deck, you probably want to be at about 38.36, even though it averages at 40.8. 38.36 pretty much sums it. You're probably going to have a fun game. You're not going to make people bitter. Whereas at 60, I'm fucking going to be pissing off at least one person. Probably the entire fucking table, especially being at 60. Anyway, so we're talking about Hidden Strings. There's other things that I can do. You can untap certain. It says permanent. It's not even I could do land. I could tap people's fucking shit out. It's annoying, man. But it's fucking. That's the reason why it's typically why it's in this deck is for the stasis, pretty much. But it also can do some other things too. like, say with the God Fanex, God of Deception's ability, target, I can tap a creature a couple more times, and with a blue-black deck, which is typically reserved in like green and blue, predominantly green though. But you have like Hidden Strings, for example, and other abilities like that to untap creatures or tap creatures. Blue has that ability typically. Anyway, Jet Medallion, we got black spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. And I think I also have the Sapphire one, which is it's blue. I might as well. I mean, fucking A. I mean, predominantly a lot of people, once again, usually use like this kind of like black spell, like monocolored spell reduction abilities and like monocolored decks. But this is 2 colors, so fuck it. It's pretty equally split. We got Mind Stone, typical mana rock. Tap it to add colorless mana. I don't really even use it for its other ability unless I have to. 1, tap it, and then you sacrifice it to draw a card. But I'm sure it could be. Anyway, I'm sure you could use a combo with that some way. Phyrexian Altar, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. Pretty solid. It's pretty fucking expensive now. It's crazy. Fucking very crazy. I think I paid for like $30 at the time, maybe 30 or 40. I don't know, but crazy. I can't believe I spent that much. Sapphire Medallion, blue spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. Did I say that right? Blue spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. Yeah. Then you got Soul Ring, tap it for 2 colorless mana. Talisman of Dominance, add black or blue, and then it deals 1 damage to you. And then, or you can just tap it for colorless mana. Swiftfoot Boots, protect for anyone who's of importance, specifically typically the commander. Also give them haste, even though my commander can activate it as soon as she's played. But she's pretty expensive. And it's got hexproof and haste, the equipped creature. So 2 drop to equip, and then it's a 1 to equipped. Vidalcan Orrery. I have this in a lot of decks, I guess. It's a 4 drop, and then you may cast spells as though they have flash. So that's cool and safe. I just want to make sure we're all done and caught up. Fucking getting to the end. Okay. Goddamn. Altar of Dementia, sack outlet. I mean, I probably would have put this in the middle. You sacrifice a creature, target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power from the top of their library into their graveyard. Velgavoth, Terror Eater. Got Flying Lifelink. It's got Ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. It's a 9 drop. It's a 9/9. If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Velgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to the mana value rather than pay its mana cost. Pretty cool. Especially for a mill deck. Removal. Aetherize, return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. That protects you at least 1 turn. So if someone's gonna, potentially win that turn, you could slap them down. Protect people. You can throw some politics in there and be like, fucking throw in a favor or get whatever. Then you got in Garruk's Wake. Destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. I mean, that's technically a win con. It's a 9 drop though. And you have to obviously have the fucking the board ready to do that. Mystic, maybe beyond the fucking having the 9 mana. Mystic Reflection, choose target non-legendary creature. The next time 1 or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature, which is kind of cool. You can fuck somebody over, but I predominantly if I was say playing, it depends on the situation, but I'm playing a monocolored deck, I would probably, and I know for a fact I can totally easily get a fuck ton of my tokens, my black and blue fairy rogue creature tokens with flying from Oona. Then Mystic Reflection, I can then turn it into maybe another cool creature on the fucking board. It doesn't have to even be a creature. I can choose target non-legendary creature. It could be any creature on the board that's non-legendary. Orcish Bowmaster, fun to just have, I guess, in case someone can draw a lot. But also, I really want to do the Forced Fruition. I want to fuck people up with that. That's just cool as fuck. Could totally be in a better deck, probably, or more functional. A deck that's functions on other people drawing. Anyway, and then we got Tagwill's Scoring or Scouring. I think it's not scoring. Would it be still considered scoring? You score things, not like scoring, like scoring a point, or it could be scouring. I mean, you may cast Tagwell's Scouring or Scoring as though it had flash by tapping 3 untapped creatures you control with flying in addition to paying its other costs. Destroy all creatures. Create 3 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying. Nice to just protect myself if need be. But also, it's a board wipe. I don't know if I really have any board wipes in this fucking deck, thinking about it. Holy shit. Wow, I guess the board, I didn't think about that. That's crazy. Anyway, I have a couple, I guess, but not like super. Anyway. They're not like super. Anyway. Getting the stacks. These are, Frozen Aether, or I'm pretty sure it's either. Artifacts, creatures, and lands your opponents control come into play tapped. That's an enchantment. That's an annoying enchantment. Definitely why it stacks. Harbinger of the Seas, non-basic lands or islands, fucks people over. That a lot of people use fucking non-basic lands. I guess that's kind of like to punish people that are stuck in that mindset of not using basic lands. But I might be. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'll probably keep this deck functioning with basic lands over non-basic because it's a 2-color commander deck. And then we got Stasis. As I explained, each player skips his or her untap phase, and then during your upkeep, pay blue mana or bury Stasis. That fucks a lot of people over. So, and I don't mind putting it at a very slow standstill so that, I don't know, it's one of the few decks I think that has control on this level. I think it's my saltiest deck that I've made, that I've noticed, that I've put on. And once again, I'm doing this because, just God forbid something happens, like I have to sell the cards or they, get damaged or whatever. At least I'll have the memory online forever. We just got the last 3 cards, I think. Vargoth, Blood Sky Sire, nice little demon rogue. Death Touch, you pay 2. It's got Boast. You pay 1 in a black mana. Target player searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top of it. So I can just, it's a tutor. Maybe it's literally in the tutor pile. I could also help somebody else out, says target player. So, and then I have to do this only if this creature attacked this turn and only once each turn. So I have to attack with him. He's got Death Touch, but I imagine all I have to do is attack. So it could be a one-time tutor. I could talk to people, politics and shit. And then we got Notorious Throng, Prowl 5 blue mana. It's a 4-drop. It's 3 in blue mana, but for Prowl 5 in blue mana, you may cast this for its Prowl cost if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with a rogue. And then it's create X 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying, where X is the damage dealt to your opponents this turn. If this spell's Prowl cost was paid, take an extra turn after this one. I guess one of the few ways of being able to take, there's many, I guess, many ways, I guess, to skin a cat, I guess. More than one way. I guess more than one way to get an extra turn. Then we got Shadow Puppeteers, Flying Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying. And then whenever a creature you control with flying attacks, you may have it become a red dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 in addition to its other types, other colors and types until end of turn. With whenever a creature with flying. Yeah, okay. So, you turn my my 1/1 fairy rogue tokens, whether blue and black or just black, and any creatures that are small enough that are flying, turn them into 4/4 dragons, which could help me in monumental ways through dealing damage. Because Plan A is milling people out, but you may have to mill some people out and then knock them out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me just make sure. I just want to double check. Yep. Talked about all that. I guess, the black fairy rogue with flying, the black and blue fairy rogue. I was missing this token for a very long time until I got that one. It was a Eldraine Dimir deck, fairy deck. Human soldier comes from the Bastion of Remembrance. Orc army. I don't know why the fuck the orc army is even in here. Is it? Oh, it's because of the fucking Orcish Bowmaster, right? Yeah, and then a mass orcs one. Okay, and then the zombie mutant is from the Screeching Scourge Beast. Okay. I would play test it, but I'm already at fucking 40 minutes. I'm sure it's about 46. I guess fuck it, right? Why not? But I'm just gonna quickly look at the stats. Once again, I always try to do, because you never know how the game's gonna, you don't know how the board wipes and all that gonna be. So it's nice to have try to go on the lower end of 2 and 3. I mean, obviously you want those win conditions, but 5s and 4s are expensive, even 6s and 7. Obviously, just in terms of finance, and I guess if you take finances, I mean, if you take it in terms of finances or like as a resource of like money or currency, what mana value is. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much of this really is important. I mean, typically, once again, it's mostly milling and a little bit of sacrifice and shit like that. I'm gonna play test it, I guess, real quick. This wouldn't be a terrible hand, actually. I'm gonna fucking keep it. Let's go. So, island, tap it, soul ring. Now we got 3-drop. Next turn, I didn't even draw a card. Doesn't matter. I guess it was a fucking island. And I'm gonna draw then. What the fuck is that? Okay, so that's not bad. I don't know what. Unfortunately, is it a 5-drop? I think that's a 5-drop. So we're gonna drop another island. I don't know how much. Once again, I fucking literally cannot see. So it's a 7-drop and that's a 5-drop. Okay. That's fine. All right. So that's 4. We might as well with the 4 do Vidalcan Orrery. We're on now turn 3. We got, okay, that's not bad actually. I can have technically a second soul ring right now. I might as well drop this, which is whenever you cast a fairy or wizard spell. I mean, I can't read it, but I just remember. Then you can copy it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're on the next turn. Okay, we finally got some swamp in here. So I'm gonna do that. Now I got 6. I could either cast my. No, I'm gonna go and do the Everflowing Chalice. Hopefully I'm not getting my ass blasted right now. I mean, once again, I'm not imagining this is CEDH. God damn it. So that's got 3 charge counters on it. I don't know if you can add counters. Yeah, we'll do a generic. So it's got 3 charge counters. So now I can tap it for 3 mana. I am now on turn 5, which reasonably everything's turning out okay so far. So I got 4, 5, 6, 9 mana. That's not bad at all. Holy shit. Okay, so obviously we're gonna pop out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got my commander. I mean, I could even mill somebody out right now. I can't copy it. I guess I would copy it, but then I'd just make another copy, but then it'd kill the other. So I guess whatever, which is fine. I could, once again, just based on the ability, I could already at least mill or get someone to exile 2 cards this turn. I mean, I guess I could have also, because I had the flash, but I've been doing everything on my turn, so I guess I could be doing it on other people's turns. I forgot I could actually do that. So anyway, back on my next turn as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So by this point, I don't know, man. And it's whenever you cast it. In this case, I really like her ability so much. I mean, it depends on the situation. I possibly would. It would make sense, I guess, to pop her out. So that's a 7-drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There. And I guess I would have a copy of that, which would then, I don't know. I think it's black. And of course, they don't show you which one it is. I'm going to assume it's probably this one. Yep. And, so we'd have 2. I'd actually have 4 because it would copy from that. Well, she would copy from that. Or it would anyway. So we got that, and then this would create 1 copy. So we got that. All right, so that's 7 mana. From 7 mana, I got all of that. That's not bad. In which I'd have to wait until next turn to then have that ability to turn into 4/4s. But we're looking pretty good right now, in my opinion. I also could do a Hidden Strings and throw it on one of my creatures. I'm holding off on Hidden Strings until absolutely necessary. I just don't think it's the right time. I mean, once again, I don't know what other people are playing. Getting Jace right now, I personally would not care to have, so I'd probably hold off on that. This is where, once again, I'd probably start holding. I mean, Oona, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I would exile 10 cards off of someone's library and potentially get up to 10 tokens. I probably wouldn't get all 10. There's a chance I wouldn't even get 1, but at the very least, I'm fucking somebody up that way. And this is more of a politics game. It's like, who would I want to do this to, and who could I team up with? Because if I'm just blindly just like not saying anything and I'm just like attacking someone, I guess I'd have to have a very good reason to. But by this point, I think these guys are 4/4s. Hold on, God damn it. Yeah, they're 4/4s. So, I'm attacking with, I got 6 4/4s. I guess, I don't know how much that is. And I think that's another 4/4 or so. But, I don't know, man. I think I'm doing okay. Honestly, it's pretty... I could be wrong, but I think when you're mono ramping like a motherfucker, I'm sure people would probably do what the fuck is this guy doing? I would probably become arch enemy of sorts, probably. Even though I don't know, I guess, am I controlling the board? I don't know. In my expertise, I typically would like to be more defensive, because if you're attacking people, then you got literally 3 turns, 3 people can knock you out in 1 turn. So, maybe swing a couple of them out or something like that. But, I guess, once again, which I think this is, but I don't know, man. I don't know if this would even, I gotta fucking literally look. Fuck. Untapped, right? Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'll drop that. It's like whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that put its controller. Yeah, okay. Nice little fun game. That actually with hidden strings would actually fuck me over. Because I'm untapping shit. I guess it wouldn't be that bad. Is it whenever it's untapped? Yeah. Yeah, so it affects everybody. God damn, that's fucked. But it's okay. You know what I mean? It's just part of the fucking game. What is it? I don't think this is incorrect, but it's like you can either it's like make your cake but you can't eat it, or it's like whatever the fucking phrase is, man. But game menu, back to deck. We're gonna call it a day now. It's not perfect, but definitely a very fun deck for me, in my opinion. I wish I had like Bitter Blossom. I would like to make it more fairy like, but oh well. This is a nice little combination of things. I mean, it kind of, in my opinion, I think it holds up fine. But who knows? I mean, obviously, I'm just play testing it. I'll probably get my ass kicked because of how fucking fast I was ramping. But we'll call it a day. If you got this far, thanks for watching. Cheers.